Hello, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to our Institution of Global Professionals free webinar. Thanks to all of you for joining with us, and please stay connected with us till the end. My dear lovely audience, today I'm your host once again, myself Nasrin Nisha, and I'm from Bangladesh. And welcome to all of you in this lovely evening. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm proud to be associated with IGP as a global member. I feel honored and privileged to host this webinar. It's my delight to welcome you all to our Institution of Global Professionals free webinar. Thanks to all of you once again for joining with us in this moment. My dear lovely audience, I'm sure you all will have many takeaways and pays off from this webinar. Each time you can like our webinar, don't forget to share, tag, and mention your friends in our comments. So let's watch together because we believe that power is gained by sharing knowledge, not holding it. So, once again, I'm your Nasrisha and member in IGP from Bangladesh, welcoming all of you. Every day, we have some new participants who joined with us from different countries, different time zones. So, for them, let me tell about IGP. Let me give you some concept about IGP. Institution of Global Professionals serves students and community resources, providing holistic social work and education for create a profession generation. IGP is a leading online skill development institute with thousands of learners worldwide. We make it able to use for every knowledge seeker to originate personality, more ambitious, make confident to face any circumstance and develop own skills. We are entrusted with international recognition. Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you more about IGP. Institution of Global Professionals is an educational institution provides social work. We believe that it's not effective to increase one's skills just by educational institution provides social only just by acquiring knowledge education, formal education. So we provide effective training, consultations to generate profession generation all over the world. We organize our webinar, training, offline, online courses, etc. by based and trained speakers, coaches from all over the world. To create, we just create a best platform for all of you. Our mission is to empower people and enhance. We have already completed our 510 webinars, and today I'm presenting webinar number 511. We expect that you are all getting a little bit benefited in personal and professional life, and we wish that all are remaining with us in this long journey. Before inviting our honorable speaker, let me remind you, don't forget to share, tag, and mention your friends in our comment box. Let them know about today's webinar so that they can also get benefited from this webinar. My dear lovely participants, let's welcome our honorable speakers from Philippines. Welcome, Sir Jason. Good evening, sir.
Yes, ma'am. Good evening.
How are you, sir?
I'm good. What about you, ma'am?
I'm also good, sir. Sir, tell about yourself, and you can also start your presentation.
Okay. So I will introduce myself first before I'm going to start my discussion. So, so our participants, good day. Ayan, a pleasant day to all of the very eager participants of this training from all parts of the world. So I will be your speaker for today. My name is Jason M. Marticio from Philippines. Um, I took the degree of graduate diploma in teaching in the arts at La Consolacion University, Philippines. So, I am currently teaching at Santa Cruz National High School, Division of Zambales, ayan, here in the Philippines. So, I am hoping that you uh, got some knowledge regarding our session for today. Shall we start now, ma'am?
Sure, sir. Mm.
So again, a pleasant day to all of our eager participants all over the world.
Okay.
Did you see my presentation, ma'am? Yes. So we are going to start our discussion. We are indeed grateful for another session of learning opportunity for all educators and professionals, which can be a very good instrument in improving teaching processes to bring quality learning. This training will focus on the concept of multigrade education and the essential aspects of visual arts in teaching multigrade education as an avenue to learning among us teachers, which can be an additional technique or strategies in presenting our lessons and making learning more fun and easy. I am quite sure that visual arts, when it is integrated in our subject, will create a more colorful, realistic, and holistic tandem of both teaching and learning. And to start with, I am going to introduce and discuss the two important keywords and concepts that we are going to encounter during our discussion. The first one is the visual arts. Based on the definition of the visual arts on your screen, the arts that meet the eye and evoke an emotion through an expression of skill and imagination. It includes the most ancient form, such as painting and drawing, and the arts that were born through the development of technology, such as sculpture, printmaking, photography, and installation art. From the given example, we could probably note the activities that we can give to our learners addressing the different intelligences. The most common activity is letting our learners explore through drawing, painting, and sketching. Since technology-based activities are the latest trend in learning, we can give them tasks which will enhance their skills using the ICT resources. So when we say ICT, this is the information communication technology or using of the modern technology nowadays. So students apply their knowledge and understanding through the appropriate and skillful use of visual arts practices. As a student progresses through the level of visual arts, their knowledge and understanding, including their skills as learner, increases through exposure to a breadth of artistry, craftspeople, and designers. Students representing the expression or by expressing their observation, ideas, and imagination. So that will be the first keyword that we are going to discuss later on. Let's move on to our next word, multigrade education. So, our main topic for today is all about the integration of visual arts in teaching multigrade education. So, this will be the second keynotes that we encountered along or during our discussion. So, we are going to identify first the definition of multigrade education. So, when we say multigrade education, this is the setting wherein a combination of students of different ages and abilities in one classroom. They take a variety of organization forms ranging from a groupings of several formal grade division under the direction of one teacher to a complete non-graded learning environment. So, the context of multi-grade education settings in some countries, most especially in Asia, including Philippines of course, is within the ratio of 1 is to 3. So, what does it mean when we say the ratio of 1 is to 3? There is only one teacher handling three different classes with three different ages. This mostly happened in far-flung areas located in different provinces. In this scenario, the teacher should be flexible. She should be flexible enough in doing multitasking. The teacher facilitator has the power and strategy to conduct different activities from several formal grade divisions. And now, after discussing the definition of multi-grade education, let us proceed to conceptualization and the contextualization of the multi-grade education. So, as we observe, we educators, there are several factors contributing to the establishment of multi-grade teaching. These factors are the things that we need to consider in handling multi-grade education because of the different behavioral aspects, cultural and religious belief of each learner because each individual is a unique human being, right? Therefore, we have different beliefs, different culture, different languages. We have a difference from each other. So this will be the factors. Number one, the factors contributing to the establishing of multi-grade teaching. Number one is the cultural factors. It includes different local languages and races. Every learner, just like what I said a while ago, has their own local languages and dialect, or what we call the mother tongue. Again, every learner has their own local languages and dialect, or what we call the mother tongue. The teacher should be knowledgeable on how to handle different students with different orthography, most especially in teaching multi-grade. There are some students who are not able to understand the local dialects in one particular area, which is true. This happens when they are relocated or they are decided to change their residency. It is very important for the teacher to know the cultural background of his students for him to give the suitable medium of instruction that he is going to use while discussing and explaining the lesson. The challenge of diversity in multi-grade classroom requires both teachers and students to be aware of the elements influencing the communication process. The teacher and the learner must be cognizant of this consideration to establish a meaningful rapport in a learning and teaching environment. Maybe, as we all know, language barriers can affect the teaching and learning process. That is why, again, language can affect the teaching learning process. That is why it is more helpful on the part of the teacher if he use effective instructional materials with a bilingual or multilingual translation. So when we say bilingual, it is composed of two dialects, and multilingual is composed of two or more dialects. Okay? Now let's proceed with the second factors contributing to the establishing of multigrade teaching, the socioeconomic factors. So it includes the facilities and educational expenses of the learners. Facilities such as classrooms, libraries, and other educational materials are the most essential part of learning. Yes, this is the most important thing that we need to have in our teaching learning process. It is the avenue of having a quality education. The main purpose while we teach is to conduct and to create a quality education. That's why the Department of Education in each particular country should build and provide these facilities to have conducive learning, not only the quality, but for us to achieve the quality education, we need to have the conducive learning. Most countries in Asia, including Philippines, have a scarcity in having those facilities because of a lack of financial support from the government. That is why it is very important for the teacher to create a substitute way or an alternative way of constructing a conducive room for learning. This happens often in the far-flung areas from different places or provinces in each particular country. So what is the reason behind why there is a lack of financial support? Why there is a scarcity? Because of poverty. And due to poverty, some of our students are not able to enroll or attend their schooling. They are forced to find a job to make money for them to survive for their everyday expenses. That is why some of our learners, as we observe, some of our learners enrolled in primary level, specifically from grade 1 to grade 4 at the age bracket of 16 to 19 years old. It's too late for them to enter for that grade level. But because of poverty, and they are forced to find a job, make money for them for their daily expenses. That's why from grade 1 to 4, they are 16 to 19 years old. So that is belongs to socioeconomic factors. So the third factor is the greater community involvement. So it includes the geographical setup of the learners. Of course, we need to consider the geographical setting of the learners. In multi-grade education, most of our learners live in far-flung areas or mostly located outside the town or cities. There are numerous counts of indigenous people who enrolled in multi-grade education. Most of our multi-grade learners are indigenous people. They are live in a mountainous area or the far-flung area. That's why if we do not have enough teachers, we are forced to teach two, three, or four grade level at the same time in one classroom. So that is what we call multi-grade education. In this scenario, there are limited chances in building or constructing classroom. Yes, because of poverty, there are limited chances in building or constructing classrooms. The best remedy has been done by the teacher, of course. The teacher facilitator needs to go in the rural community to teach different grade levels with different ages and races at the same period of time. The teacher needs to have a good rapport with the members of the community. It will help them to convince and convey all learners to pursue their dream through education. The teacher focuses not only in the academic aspect, but mostly in inculcating values of each learner or the basic values that the learner should acquire. So that will be on the greater community involvement. Now let's proceed with the fourth factor, the greater understanding between learners and educators. It includes different approaches and techniques in teaching. The greater understanding between learners and educator is the most challenging part of the teacher. It is the time for him to decide what suitable approaches and techniques that he can going to use in delivering his lesson. In teaching multigrade, the teacher should be creative in making his instructional materials. These materials help him to easily explain and discuss the subject or the lesson itself. For example, I will give you some example of the teaching or the instructional materials that we are using in our school or in some school here in the Philippines. In teaching grade 1, the teacher may use the pictograph approach. Why the pictograph approach? Since the learners can easily learn through identifying colors, pictures, and figures. That's why the suitable strategies that we are going to use in teaching grade 1 is the pictograph approach. In teaching grade 2 to grade 4, the teacher must use the puzzle type strategies since they are in the stage of developing their own skills and talents. In teaching grade 5 to grade 6, the teacher may use the spider web approach or the guessing game method, since they are in preparation for for the junior high school. They can recall all their basic knowledge and understanding that they've learned from their lower grade level. So that will be include on the greater understanding. Now let's proceed to the last one, factors contributing to the establishment of multi-grade teaching. Richer learning environment. It includes the instructional materials itself and the innovation in teaching. So, how is that? Richer learning environment is one of the most important aspects that we need to consider in establishing multi-grade teaching. It showcases the content and the motivation of the teacher. It will help the teacher to encourage the interest of the learners. Instructional materials should be more interesting, practical, realistic, and of course appealing. It is also enables both teachers and students to participate actively and effectively in lesson sessions. It gives room for acquiring skills, knowledge, and development of self-confidence. That is the most important thing. Development of self-confidence and self-actualization. It is also suggested that instructional materials should be localized. We need to prioritize our local products. It will help to promote the product and own economic activity in one particular area. The learners easily adopt and relate to the topic if they actually experience the given examples of the teacher. These five factors are very essential in promoting and establishing multi-grade education. The support of the Department of Education is necessary to provide all the educational materials and facilities. And of course, the flexibility and creativity of the teacher should be developed, and not only developed, but performed using varieties of innovative instructional materials that are suitable for all learners of different ages. Now, let us continue our discussion on conceptualizing multi-grade education. So, here are some teacher support for multi-grade teaching. This is the vital role of the teacher in supporting for the multi-grade teaching. Self-directed professional growth or development should be encouraged by providing distance education material at resource center. So the instructional material should be given to small schools. As we discussed a while ago, there are vital roles of the different educational materials in the teaching learning process. This material is used to introduce and explain the lesson. It is very important to select and use the best instructional materials that are suited to the level of understanding of each learner, where they can learn alone and be independent in acquiring learning. Flexibility and creativity are the factors that the teacher has to possess. Yes, 100%. It delimits the knowledge and understanding if the educator did not have any creativity and art of artistry. As a teacher, me myself, we need to maximize and be passionate about doing different educational materials. It is either hardbound instructional materials or the ICT-based learning. So the next one is after the teacher, of course, the role of the community for the multi-grade teaching. So as you can see on the screen, organize parent-teacher meetings and discuss with the community when and how it can help. Establish good relationship and be willing to cooperate with parents and to the entire community. The school is part of the community, and the school is established to serve the children of the community. Some parents in the community may not have much schooling, but they have the experience, they have the skills that can be relevant to the school curriculum. Recognize the vital role of the parents in the teaching learning process. Recognize their own creative work and efforts. Do not always expect them to available when you need them. Plan ahead and develop a good communication system. Always make arrangement in advance if you need the community's help. And of course, allow parents to have access to the school facilities if necessary. For example, if they want to use the school for a meeting or to hold church services, allow them because they are part of the teaching learning process. And we need to show appreciation and encouragement and always thank them for their help. In short, this is a give and take process, not for the teacher, not for the parent, but we are all doing this for the learner that will serve as the great leader of tomorrow. So now, let's have the visual arts. The form of artistry needs and other educational facilities in stabilizing multi-grade education. So we are going to discuss the learning resources in multi-grade teaching. So there are five. So number one, so when we say learning resources in multi-grade teaching, these are the needed materials, the needed facilities uh, in teaching multi-grade. So if we don't have any of these, so we are not capable in teaching multi-grade learners. So number one is the adequate classroom space. So learning can easily be achieved if there is a conducive classroom for our students. For conducive learning, they need tables, chairs, instructional materials, printed book, and other innovative materials for them to learn. But some places did not have any classroom. Not all, but some. There is why they use their community as a wide range classroom, open classroom. It is sad to know that this happened mostly or most especially in the third world countries where poverty is the main reason. So we have lack of classrooms. We don't have any budget to build facilities, but we have a competitive teacher. We have a passionate teacher. That's why there is always remedy for that. And we have our community. We have our officials. We have our government officials who always support and guide us in all aspects of the educational system. So the second one is the portable chalkboard. Actually, this is the basic one, basic needs of the teacher while discussing or while having the discussion. So, chalkboard is a reusable writing surface on which text or drawings are made with sticks or a chalk. This is necessary in explaining some data and information. In teaching multigrade, it is very important to have a portable chalkboard in delivering lessons as a teaching aid. So this is not just a resources, but this is a teaching aid. This is a functional teaching aid. It can be substitute for a logical presentation of the lesson and can easily break the lesson into manageable parts and give students a chance to deal with facts and concepts as the teacher presents each parts. So from big ideas into small ideas, we can use the portable chalkboard. So we can easily identify, we can easily explain all the needed data, needed information from general to specific. That's why we need to have this portable chalkboard. Okay, now let's proceed to the third one, the printed materials. Actually, printed materials is the traditional way on how we discuss the lesson. So as you can see on the screen, I had made localized printed materials, my own creation of localized printed materials, or also known as the strategic intervention materials. So these printed materials was given to the learners who did not met the expectation of the teacher. It also guides the students on how to easily understand and answer the different activities and tasks. These learning materials can stand alone, can teach alone without the or with the minimum supervision of the teacher. The student can easily understand the topic without the teacher facilitator because it's several parts. So allow me to discuss to you some parts of my strategic intervention materials. So the first one is the guide card. So what is the content of the guide card? So our participants, you can adopt this kind of printed materials. And I am encouraging you to do this kind of intervention materials because this is effective and functional, most especially to the low performing students. So in introduction, the purpose and the objective of the lesson, of course, we need to identify what is our purpose, what is our objective. So that is included in the introduction, followed by the guide card. Actually, a guide card is consisting into one, two, or more because the content of the guide card is the competency and the content of the lesson. All the lessons needed should be in the guide card. It is composed of four guide card with enrichment activity. It, that's why that is what we call the guide card. We need to guide them. We need to assess them through printed materials. And the last one is the activity card, composed of four or five activities. Of course, for us to easily assess the performance or the academic performance of the students, we need to create four or five activities. It also includes the different rubrics or the standards on how we give them points, and of course the skills that the students needs to develop. So that will be included in the printed materials. Some of the printed materials are books, magazines, and so on and so forth, all printed materials. Next number four is learning resources, reading corner, or the library. Reading Center is the ideal place to search and gather information. This is the best place to develop the skills and abilities of the learners. In multi-grade education facilities, it is very rare to see the library because of limited funds. Therefore, some educators bring all the reading books to the community, or sometimes they use the internet to search different data and information instead of using the printed books. There you go. And number five, the electronic resources or the integration of the information communication technology. As you can see on the screen, there's a laptop, there's a devices, different devices that we use in searching different information or data. Electronic resources nowadays are very popular and of course relevant source of learning. It helps us to easily gather different information in all aspects of our educational endeavors. Not only for the students but for us teachers, for us professionals. We can use the ICT-based materials in teaching multigrade as supplementary tools of reading materials. We should always integrate the advanced technology even for the indigenous people, of course, and other students who live in far-flung areas for them to become updated and knowledgeable in different educational technologies at present times. These five learning resources are very essential to achieve, develop, and inculcate knowledge and skills to our learners, regardless of their gender, regardless of their grade, regardless of their age as well as their races. So now, let's proceed to our next topic, which is considered as one of the core elements of teaching multigrade learners. So, learning process using visual aids, integration. Here you go. We are going to discuss about the use of visual arts in the learning process. So as you can see on the screen, learning in visual arts involves students making and responsive to artwork, drawing in the world as a source of ideas. Students engage with the development of knowledge, skills, techniques, and use materials as they explore a range of forms, style, and concepts. Always remember that not all learners are mentally gifted. Most of our learners are kinesthetic. They are easily understand the lesson if they can actually apply it in their daily lives. They can easily absorb the essence of the lesson if they can touch it, if they can see it, if they can feel it. That's why it is very important if we integrate different visual arts in any form of our methodologies and strategies of teaching multigrade. Any pictures or any visual representation can demonstrate and explain to them the basic ideas of the lesson. That is why, as a teacher, we need to be artistic and creative enough to do different and unique and, of course, functional instructional materials. Educators who are teaching multigrade rather, need to uplift the power of appreciation in one simple creation. This is the best tool to boost the confidence of the learner. Yes, that is the most important thing. The appreciation, even though it is a simple sketch, a simple drawing into a wonderful creations, we need to appreciate, we need to uplift so that the confidence of the students can develop the confidence of the student will shown through their creations. So there are two interrelated principles of making and responding in visual arts. So this is the two common to all art curriculum. I will include this in our discussion because this is the most or one of the most essential part because this is part of our curriculum, not only in the Philippines but all over the world. Each art discipline incorporate two interrelated principles. The number one principle is learner and educator learn as an artist and a viewer. The second one, learner and educator through making and responding itself. The first one, I'm going to discuss first the first principle. The first one is the learner and educator as an artist and a viewer. The only way to encourage our students to become an artist is to become an example to them. The only way to encourage them is to show them how to create a simple creation, how to create a simple art. The only way to encourage students is to become an artist itself. Create a simple art or any form of art that can encourage them to do the same. We can use indigenous or recycled materials to lessen the financial needs and to become aware on how to use our local products. By that means, we can create better learning. And as a teacher, we need to become a good viewer, not only a good artist, but a good viewer. Just like what I said a while ago, we need to be appreciative. We need to become appreciative in even a simple ways of appraising the artwork of the learner. So the second principle is the learner and education or educator through making and responding itself. We need to plan. We need to search for the materials needed and create a simple output in response to the basic concept that the students need to acquire. So, non-stop learning, we need to learn, we need to search for them uh, to learn. Yes. Next, responsive learners and educator through visual arts. So here are some responsive learners. Number one, visual convention. So learner and educator explore traditionally, contemporarily, and evolving visual conventions used in artwork or diverse styles and composition. Visual convention pertaining to the development of a simple craft to a complex creation, because just like what I said, or based on the definition of visual conventions, there is always an evolving, there is always an improvement. Therefore, from simple craft to a complex creation, there is always a development of one minds and concept. Multi-grade teacher allow our students to explore and remove all the hesitations to create their own art. Encourage them, and from this, they can diverse their styles and composition that they can apply in their daily life. So let's proceed to the next one. Yes, viewpoints. Both learners and educator learn that meanings can be generated from different viewpoints, the perspectives, and that this shift according to different classroom base encountered. Every individual has their own perception into a particular thing, even in a piece of an art. The meaning of an artwork depends upon the point of view of the viewer, right? As a multi-grade teacher, we need to respect and support the ideas coming from our learners because that is their point of view. We only have to guide them on how to create their own meanings and constructive criticism. Okay? We need to respect their own point of view. The third one, the information and communication technology and the arts. Information communication technology are powerful tools that can support educators creating and constructing different teaching instructional materials and innovation. So, ICT are the common source of knowledge among educators and learners nowadays. And as educators, we need to integrate this powerful tool to our learners to become globally competitive. Our learners today are our future leaders. That's why we need to teach them all the current and high quality of education. So using the ICT and the visual arts, of course, we can create powerful and effective instructional materials that they can rely on discovering new concept and knowledge. So now let's proceed to our next topic, the instructional materials using the visual arts. So, based on the definition of instructional materials, also known as teaching or learning material, are any collection of materials including animate and inanimate objects and human and non-human resources that a teacher may use in teaching and learning situation to help achieve desired learning objective. Remember, educators, instructional materials should be tangible. The students easily understand the topic if they can touch and manipulate the learning materials, most especially with the multi-grade learners. And later on, I will show you some examples of manipulative visual materials that we are using in our school that you can adapt during your discussions or even to your seminars. So now, um, let us now discuss the advantage, of course, of using instructional materials in teaching multi-grade learners. So, the advantage of using instructional materials, it allowed the learners to interact with words, symbols, and ideas in ways that develop their abilities in reading, listening, solving, viewing, thinking, speaking, and writing using media, technology, and visual arts. This is pertaining to different materials used in teaching. It includes different printed materials such as books, magazines, strategic intervention materials, and other printable modules. It also includes all the visual arts use in delivering the lesson. And just like what I said a while ago, at the end of our session, I will show you some visual aids and instructional materials that we are using in delivering our lesson. So let's continue. Advantage of using instructional materials in teaching multi-grade. Choosing is Choosing a suitable instructional materials in teaching multi-grade can be helpful in discussing the lessons in different grade level at the same manner of time. So this is self-explanatory. We are just need to select and choose the suitable instructional materials to our learners in different ages and in different races. So let's proceed. Localized innovation for learning may be more effective in modifying the lesson that can be relatable in local issues. Localization also involves adapting of supplementing an activity to address the specific needs of a group of learners. Localization is pertaining into the process of making something local, in character or restricting place. We need to create our own localized instructional materials. Its main goal is to promote our local products to be patronized by its citizens. The main problem of the Department of Education is the limited facilities and limited fund of supplying instructional materials. We can solve this problem by making our own ideal and effective instructional materials through localization. So, as you can see, we need to localize. We need to improve our own product. We need to use our own product. We can use recycled and indigenous materials to create a functional and innovative teaching materials. Next advantage, the teacher can easily assess and evaluate the academic performance of each learner from different grade levels. So, what is the main purpose why we teach? To to guide them and to assess them. The main target of the multi-grade teacher is to assess and evaluate the academic performance, not only the academic performance, but the behavioral performance of our dear learners. By using instructional materials, we can easily evaluate their skills and knowledge because of using different activities and constructing rubrics based on their performance tasks. Okay? Next, advantage of using instructional materials. The learner receive more intentional training to be independent workers. Off-task behaviors diminish as self-discipline and accountability increases. Lengthier time with the same teacher can increase trust, understanding of expectation, and positive relationship. As we discussed earlier, the instructional materials can stand alone, can teach alone to the students. It helps the students to be independent. They can learn with a limited supervision of the teacher. From then on, they can absorb the lesson through themselves. Discovery approach are the main target of these instructional materials. It will teach and guide them with all the activities provided into the instructional materials. So allow them to discover, train them to be independent workers. And how we do that? We can use our localized instructional materials. So here are some classroom strategies of multi-grade teachers that you may use in handling your classes. So we are going to discuss now the different strategies, approaches in handling the multi-grade learners. So here we go. We have six. First one, of course, the classroom management. Yan, checking of attendance, uh, proper decorum, the values, of course, um, time management, that is include to the classroom management, of course. The second one, collaborative learning. Ayan, we can use different strategies, peer tutoring. We can create different group activities that they can contribute their own knowledge, they can share their own experiences, then to create a functional finished product or outputs. The third one is the using differentiated instruction. Actually, in teaching multigrade teachers, this is the number one strategy that we are going to use, the differentiated instruction. Why? Because we are handling three different classes with three different ages, right? So when we are going to use the group activities in grade 1, we need to use another strategies in grade 2 and another strategies or activities in group 3. So we can combine different activities at the same time, at the same period of time, using the differentiated instruction. Okay? The next one is the connecting the teaching to real life situation. This is the most important thing. Just like what I said a while ago, some of our parents didn't go to school. They don't have any diploma, but they have the skills. They have the passion to uh, to learn by themselves into real life situation. We can always connect the lesson into the real life so that the students can encourage or the we can encourage the students to understand the lesson based on the real life situation. So next, if you have some clarification on the last part of our session, there is a question and answer part. So you can reserve your questions or clarification in this issue. Number 5, integrating technologies and visual arts. ICT is the most powerful tools nowadays. And visual arts, of course, is the simplest way uh, to express our ideas, our emotions. And that's why this is one of the best strategies that we can use in our uh, teaching. And of course, number 6, flexibility of the teacher. A teacher can do multitasking. You are handling three or more different classes at the same time. So we need to be prepared. We need to be passionate uh, in our task. We need to become flexible to do our responsibility, not only as a teacher, not only as an educator, but as a model to our students, as a role model to our future leaders. So here are some different instructional materials using visual arts integration. So a while ago, um, as I said earlier, I will show you some instructional materials that you may use or you may adapt to your school. So I'm encouraging you to do this kind of instructional materials using visual arts integration. So here are some example, box in a box, wherein the students can touch, the students can discover all the needed information, all the needed data inside the box. They can manipulate, they can assemble it, they can touch it, they can read all the needed information inside the box. As you can see on your screen, there we go. This box in a box is ideal for all subject, actually for all subject. But in this example, I am using the technology and livelihood education, agricultural crops production, because as we all know, the Philippines is considered as an agricultural country. That's why we are specialized to um teach agri-crops production. And I am using boxes in this instructional materials, localized instructional materials. You don't need to buy any MLDfic materials to just to create this kind of artwork. Just a piece of box, a paint, and a figures, of course, or pictures. This one is ideal for mathematics subjects. Okay. We use this in our school. So I am encouraging you and I prove to you that this is functional, and effective instructional materials. That's why I am sharing it to you for you to adopt in your school. Yes. And this one is for science. It's the conductor. It's all about the electricity, all localized, recycled. We use different recycled and indigenous materials. And of course, we have also the Panredmic program. Here we go. As we all know, until now, we are in a pandemic period. We are not yet done with the pandemic. So we are trying to create and tapping all the external and internal stakeholders. If the students didn't have time to go to school, the teachers are have their own initiative to create a way or strategize on how to deliver the knowledge to the students. We have the books on wheels, ayan, books on wheels, and we give some reading materials in our local barangays, local government unit for the students to borrow it and read. So here we go. So this will be the last part. Always remember that the purpose of art education is not to produce more artists, though that is a byproduct. The real purpose of art education is to create complete human being capable of leading successful and productive lives in a free society. That is based from Dana Giowa. So thank you very much for listening, participants. I hope you are gathered or absorb some knowledge and understanding regarding our topic.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much, sir, for sharing your valuable presentation with our participants.
Yes, ma'am.
Sir,
Thank
we'll
you.
come back once again with you after our quiz competition session.
Yes, ma'am.
Please stay with us. Thank you, sir. My dear lovely participants, we'll start our quiz competition session within a minute. So let's get ready. Hey everyone, welcome once again to our quiz competition session. My dear lovely participants, this is our very exciting competition session. So get ready for it. You can see the joining link in our comment section, and you can also scan the QR code that is flashed on our screen. And the code is IGP quiz. Let me remind you, don't forget to share, tag, and mention your friends in our comment section. We already have 26 participants in this competition. Let me tell you once again, you can see the joining link in our comment box and the code that flashed on our screen. The code is IGP quiz. Then Gemma, Elias, Tarnela, Ashok Kumar Adhikari, and rest of them. The participants, please share this event with your friends. Mention them. Okay, let's get started. Our first question. Earth's integration requires what to be embedded in all core subject areas of teaching? Is that movement, dance, art, or writing content? So the correct answer is first one, movement, dance, art. 89% choose the correct answer. Let's see our leaderboard. Okay, we have Melinda, Elias, Nilufer, Christina, Jamalin, and Melinda placed the first position. Congratulations, all of you. Let's go for our next question. Visual culture positions the visual arts in an antisocial context. Is this true or false? So the correct answer is false. 69% chosen the right answer. Let's see our leaderboard. We have Lee Fecunlong first position in our leaderboard, following Charlene, Jamaline, Lizel, and Daniel. Congratulations, all of you. Let's see our question number third. What advantage of teaching with visual arts is being utilized? Giving confidence to be unique or promoting attention to detail? Correct answer is promoting attention to details. 34% chosen the right answer. Let's see you later. We have Lizel Gabaldon on first position in our leaderboard. Congratulations. Let's see who's going to take the first place. In arts learning in an integrated curriculum, how many models of integration are there? 7 or 5? The correct answer is 5. 39% chosen the right answer. Let's see our leaderboard. We have Liesel on first position in our leaderboard. That's your next question. How would you use arts integration to engage these students? Record your lectures and allow him to listen to recordings of them, or teach the students to sing a song about the content material. So the correct answer is teach the students to sing a song about the content material. 73% chosen the right answer. We have Giancarlo on first position in our leaderboard. Congratulations, Gian. Let's see our next question. Which of the following are approaches to teaching arts which are best to be avoided? Is this busy work or keep silent? And the correct answer is busy work. 48% chosen the right answer. Congratulations. Let's see our leaderboard. Okay, we have Alex Xavier Alvarez on first position in our leaderboard. Congratulations, Alex. Let's go for our question number 7. Which of the following is a way to integrate the arts in your classroom? Not to talk at all, or students creating multiplication graphs? Correct answer is students creating multiplication steps. 100% chosen the correct answer. Congratulations, all of you. Okay, we have Alex Xavier Alvarez on first position in our leaderboard. Congratulations, Alex, once again. Let's see our question number 8. Arts learning is not acknowledged as being qualitatively different to other regions of learning. Is this true or false? Go for your answer. Correct answer is false. 71% the right answer. That's your leaderboard. Once again, Alex Xavier Alvarez placed on first position in our leaderboard. Congratulations. Let's go for our question number 9. Which job does not belong in the arts, audio, video, technology, and communication cluster? It is camera operator or accounts payable clerk. Correct answer is accounts payable clerk. 87% chosen the right answer. So we have once again Alex on first position in our leaderboard. And this is our last question. Let's see who's going to take our top 10 winners. In what year was the level and status of the arts education Senate report reviewed? In 1995 or 1999? Correct answer is 1995. 70% chosen the right answer. Congratulations, all of you. Congratulations to all our top 10 participants. Let's see. Alex Xavier on first position. Then we have Lisa Gabaldon, and then we have Giancarlo on third position. We have Evelyn on fourth position. We have Elias on fifth position. We have Leaf at on seven. We have Melinda placed. We have JB on placed 9 and Rosie placed 10. Congratulations to our top 10 participants. Top 10 winners. So you'll get your certificate in our from our Facebook page. So once again, I'm congratulating all of you and thanks for participating with us and stay connected with us. Now we will start our QS session with our speaker. So get ready for question our honorable speaker. Welcome, sir, once again, Sir Jason, and welcome, Sir Arnold Alvaro.
Yes, ma'am.
This is our QA session. Our participants going to ask question, and let's see who's going to ask first. My dear participants, please ask your question on today's topic based, and please mention our speaker's name in comment box. We are waiting for your question, Sir Arnold.
Good morning.
Good evening, sir. How are you, sir?
Um, I am okay. So it's good to be back again. Yeah.
We're still waiting for the question. Okay, here's our first question. The question is from Evelyn Laperi. Good evening, sir. How can a teacher teach effectively of multi-grade classroom? Any suggestion or techniques? Thank you, sir. Sir Jason.
Thank you, Ma'am Evelyn, for that question. So, as we discussed a while ago, the effective way on teaching multi-grade learners is to use our localized instructional materials, different strategies, a simple way by creating the simple art of the students, or by giving them a specific task that can use our instructional materials. And I am suggesting to use the different approaches, such as the pictograph, and of course the ICT integration itself, because in nowadays that is the most powerful tool in discussing the different lessons to our learners.
In addition to the Sir Martisha, so here in the Philippines, we are
Thank you,
experiencing
sir.
what we call multi-grade teaching. So what we did is we're doing is using the different strategies, like using um, SLMs, learning modules, especially in this time of pandemic. We are using the SLMs, ADMs, and so on and so forth. We call it the modules. Wherein if we are since we are conducting the multi-grade, especially in the grade 1 to 2 and 3, for this one we can give activities for example for grade 1, and then we can conduct discussion for the grade 2, and the same for grade 3. They will use the what we call the modular. So it's like alternating lessons, alternating conducting different lessons for the multi-grade ones.
Thank you, sir. Okay, we have our next question from Marvin Bolivar. He said, good evening. To what extent we need integration in teaching and learning? How can this be applied effectively in multigrade education since learning delivery varies this pandemic? So, Sergey.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you, Sir Marvin, for your question. So, always remember, sir, ma'am, we are going to teach in the purpose of no one left behind. So, all the efforts, all the training, the seminars we attended is intended for our learners multi-grade education. It's simply allow them to explore, allow them to discover their own talents, their own skills, their own identities by using different modular learning materials, by the discovery approach, by using the localized strategy, and other methodologies of teaching.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, so
Sir, our
for my answer for Dr. Bolivar, so my as per that is that we have different strategies. Like we can put some videos or the presentation in the USB screens. Here in the Philippines, we are giving the government are giving pre-USB and pre-tablets for the students if there is no gadgets in their family. So for that, we can put some files in the USB in order for the students to catch up with the lessons, especially If the teacher is doing the video lesson, they can put it in the USB and the students can watch it, and then they will learn even if in this time of pandemic.
Thank you, sir. Okay, we have our next question from Zian Carlo. Good evening, sir. How can we apply the techniques that you discussed using ICT? Because we experience pandemic and adapt online class and modular. Sir Jesse.
Okay, thank you, Sir Gian, for your question. Based on the seminar I attended last time, because I am a writer of the uh, modular distance material, so we learned and we discussed on how to draw a simple image in our ICT on our laptop, and then after that, we use it in doing and applying it to our module. So from that, if we don't have any access, if we don't have any facilities in the ICT, we can create, we can draw, we can illustrate the different figures that we need in doing our module. That's all, ma'am.
Thank you, sir. Sir Arnold.
Answer to Sir Dr. Bolivar is that we can have the different lessons through USB, through the tablets, or even if we are doing the reading comprehension, for example, we can call our students with the guide of their parents so that we can assess what are their learnings on what are their reading comprehension at this time. And yes,
Thank you, sir. Our next question from Maria Zulita. In an online mode of teaching, how can we use those manipulative materials effectively?
Based on our discussion, just like I discussed a while ago, ma'am, multi-grade is located in a far-flung areas. Therefore, some of the places located in far-flung areas are mountainous. So, therefore, they didn't have any facilities, online facilities, or any ICTs because we don't have or they don't have any internet access. Therefore, manipulative materials or the instructional materials are has been used only in face-to-face class, not advisable for online mode of teaching.
I will just add. So, the manipulative materials, sometimes those manipulative materials, we can use it in online class or even in the multi-grade class to, or during the face-to-face class. For example, during our seminar here, I conducted, I was a speaker for the algebraic. So if you could remember that, Japanese multiplication of algebraic expression. So I use that kind of manipulative materials and manipulations wherein I can use the ICT so that they could do the multiplication using the
Ida,
using the Japanese
Ida,
multiplication.
yang
And
sini
as
mo.
well as the deep other one is um, that if we are using the images and so on and so forth, we can use again the different manipulatives in during the online class.
Thank you so much, sir and Sir Arnold. sir. Sir. Thank you so much, sir, for sharing your presentation with our participants. And we are very honored to have you and our sir Arnold. Thanks so much.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, Ma'am Nasreen. And of course, I
Thank you,
would
sir.
like to take this opportunity to give thanks to the founder of Institute of Global Professionals, Mr. Kaushik Datta, for giving me the opportunity to share my knowledge with this particular topic. So all the participants, thank you very much. Keep safe and God bless everyone. And of course, thank you, Sir Alvaro, for assisting me for this session.
Thank you, sir. Sir Arnold.
Thank you everyone for watching us here in IGP, especially in this topic, visual arts integration in teaching multigrade. Thank you everyone.
Thank you, sir. Have My dear lovely participants, today's our topic is visual arts integration in teaching multigrade. And the code is IGP 3059. Once again, I'm repeating the code is IGP 3059. Without code, no one is eligible for certificates, and with code, you can claim your certificates anytime, and you can also get the certificates from our website. So you have to go to our website, and the address is www.eduigp.com. So get your certificates and don't forget to share your happiness and don't forget to celebrate with us. Till then, stay happy, stay healthy. Thanks to all of you. Have a good day.